Hello, this is Gary, and here is my masterpiece created for our multicultural education and equity class that we all have. What you see are a lot of slogans, a lot of what I'm calling placards. House of Placards is, of course, a play on House of Cards, and there's probably nothing more fragile than a house of cards. And what I've done is I've taken a lot of different, really pejorative slurs that were thrown around in the literature that we read this quarter and stacked them up. I'm sort of turning it on its head by saying, I think it's actually the leveling of these accusations. That's the house of cards. That's the fragility here. You see all these things piled up in the background. You see a couple of well-known characters. You see the Scream, which is a famous painting by Edvard Munch, and this man screaming right behind the word fragility found. I guess I was thinking something like John Donne with Paradise Lost, Paradise Found, fragility found. And then you see the Queen of Hearts over there screaming off with their heads. Interesting to note, when I put this together, it was actually the next day before I realized his eyes are really focused on those words fragility found. I was really thinking of that really going with the structure, not so much the painting. The painting was more angst, but I think it makes sense the way it was put together. And again, I didn't quite intend this, or maybe subconsciously I did. She's pointing at him and he's screaming fragility found. And she is very near the card that says rage. To me, she represents really the unforgiving nature of political correctness and what we're getting, really in some of the literature we're reading and what I'm seeing in news articles. You can't hardly go a day without reading in the news about somebody getting canceled in cancel culture, their show being off the air. In some cases, perhaps it's well justified. In other cases, I think, if this person said some horrible racial slur 40 years ago, do we really believe that they're the same person now and they can't have changed, they can't have grown, they can't learn anything? Is cancel really always the first thing we have to go for, off with their heads? I'm using it metaphorically, not literally killing people. You could also turn this around and say it means the exact opposite of what I meant it to say. You could say that no, it's the people who build their lives on conservatism and white privilege and whiteness. That these are the people, and market economics. That these are the people that are living in a house of cards, and the white fragility. And that man is just suddenly recognizing his white fragility as he's living, or having a hard time facing the idea of white fragility. And that woman, the queen, represents the rage of someone losing their royalty, losing their privileged status of being white. I'm happy to leave it ambiguous. Actually, I'm happy to leave it ambiguous because art should always be in the eye of the beholder. So hopefully you got something out of it, or maybe you just laughed at it. I don't know. And I hope that you all enjoyed the end of the quarter and wish you a happy holidays.